It's just so many options.
My mind did shift and went back and forth.
I'm killing this right now.
In that term. So let me clarify before you catch.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the first thing to go, the first thing to go in marriage is the physical.
All right, so another topic today. We're gonna go over what is the difference between poor and a poor mindset, or not having money and being actually broke and poor, versus having money and being wealthy. So, since I introduced the topic, I'll let the guys start off first. So, fellas, what do you think?
Well, beginning wise, like that, having money / rich and being wealthy, I think it all depends on how you spend your money and what you spend your money on. Because if you're rich, yeah, you might have a lot of money, but if you're spending it all on, things that are not going to bring you any money, clothes, cars, houses, or not even houses, but like games or whatever the case might be, and you're constantly like living month to month, I think that's where the difference is, because wealthy people are like, they don't live month to month. They spend a lot of their money to make more money. So they spend their money into assets rather than liabilities, so that they don't have to live month to month. So they can live like, okay, well, I do have all these different investments going on, or I have all these different houses or whatever that's generating me money. So when it comes to buying a liability or buying a car or something like that, they're like, okay, well, I know that I make this much money, I saved up this much money, or I can purchase this and it won't hinder me from making more money in the future. Right. I think that's the difference when it comes to being from rich to wealthy. When it comes to that poor and having like a poor mindset, I think the biggest thing with poor mindset is the same thing. It comes to that spending, because I think I know a lot of people in my age bracket. They want to be like, oh, I just got paid. I got $1,200, or I got $2,400 from my job, or whatever the case is. I'm about to go get me a Gucci belt, or I'm about to get me some Gucci shoes, some Jordans, or whatever the case is, and they want to go blow that money instantaneously, and then they're like, man, I ain't got no food to last the rest of the week, or
right.
I got rent to pay, and bills is coming, and they struggling on all these things. And it's like, well, yeah, because you just bought a $1,200 belt, dude. to hold up your pants. Like, what happened? It's not even going to do nothing. It's not going to make no money for you. And on top of that, if you're sagging, it's like, what's the point of the belt in the first place? So I think that poor mindset is like, it's like that I've never had nothing, so I want to get everything that I want now, rather than waiting for it and having that delayed gratification. They want instant gratification.
Gotcha. And then also, not also, but yeah, I think a poor mindset is having a mindset of, and let me be clear, you can actually have money.
Yeah.
You're not rich, but you can have money and still have a poor mindset, because what it is you think that a person with a poor mindset thinks that they're less than because they don't have this particular item, because I don't wear this brand, I don't have these kinds of shoes, I don't drive this car, or even I have, because like I said, this person can still have money. I don't live in this kind of house or in this neighborhood. I have a house, I have a roof over, I have all my needs are met, I have food, but at the same time, I don't have this, so I'm poor.
Right.
It's when you're thinking that and a lot of it stems from being, covetous, from just wanting and seeing what other people have and not looking at what you have. I think that is a poor mindset. And then like I said, you could even be a person that has money and you're constantly working, constantly pursuing all of these things that you don't have. Right. And just count your blessings. Look at it and you have it. Right. Just be content. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a little bit more and working towards that, but it's just that, work towards it. Don't just pursue things.
I think both of you guys are what you're saying is good. I think my opinion is that I guess I come from a different perspective as they're saying that it's what you consider wealth and what you consider poor is. I don't know. I guess poor is not necessarily the exact opposite of wealth. I don't know. Poverty. Wealth and poverty. Yes, I think poverty would be the others. So, what you consider to be in a poverty mindset and what's a wealthy mindset. My point is, my mentality, and we've talked off camera and just in general, and I've always said is that I don't need to have money. I don't necessarily have to have money like Donald, Scrooge McDuck out here swimming in the vault. I don't do
the money bin.
It's funny because I'm completely on a tangent. I'll go back to my point. They made a spoof on that on Family Guy. We'll probably show that clip.
This money is our ticket to the good life, starting now. I just bought a giant room full of gold coins, and I'm gonna dive into it like Scrooge McDuck. Ah! It's not a liquid! It's a great many pieces of solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface! Ah!
Family Guy when freaking Peter had won the lottery, he won the lottery or something, and he did like Scrooge McDuck, and he jumped in the air, dove into it, and broke his whole face. Because it is so preposterous. Right. It's like, if you jump into a pond, never try that, kids. Don't ever try to jump into the coins. It's nothing but solid metal. You're gonna die. But my point is, I don't need money. I just want to be able to do the things that I would like to do within reason, and be able to leave something down for my children and my legacy. Now, can that make you have a poor mindset like you're talking about? I mean, you could fall into that trap, like you never wanted to spend, or you never want to achieve higher. But I also think that it can keep you humble in the sense of saying, like, you're not chasing the money.
Right.
You're not chasing the wealth. But like what? Because I honestly don't think some people chase wealth, but I think some people just chase riches. I think that's the difference, And I think people, like you said about the mindset of a person who may be poor and who basically is in poverty, I'll make this my thing as long as I'll make it quicker. If you're a basketball player, Michael Jordan doesn't need to prove to you that he's great or he was great at basketball. Right now, who would it be? It'd be Steph Curry. He doesn't need to prove to you. He's confident the fact he can walk on the basketball court and shoot a three. He's confident in that. Every time he shoots a three, he doesn't need to be like, I made a three. I'm not saying he doesn't brag a little bit on the court, but right. but you look at a guy who can't shoot the 3-pointer and he wants you to believe he can shoot the 3-pointer. What's the first thing he's saying to you? He's like, before you get to the court, he's like, hey bro, I hit those threes though. It's always raining. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry doesn't say that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Right. Why? Because he's like, check my resume. Right. Like, just as you notice, a lot of really wealthy, rich people who have a lot of money, they're not super flashy. The ones who, don't get me wrong, they might have a Ferrari, but they're probably driving an Acura. Right. It's not a bucket, but it's a decent car. And they might still drive a Camry. You know what I'm saying? Right. But we're the ones, not we, because I am not wealthy or poor. But I'm saying I'm like somewhere in the middle. But I think people, I'll say myself too, people who don't have a lot of money, we're the first ones going to go grab, latest and greatest. Right. They usually about the Gucci. Like, okay, well, I don't know who the owner of Gucci is or who actually created it.
Some European white guy.
Does he walk around with Gucci all the time? You know what I'm saying? Does he always have Gucci on, or does he just wear every day and wear some Levi's? You know what I'm saying? So my point is, he has you buying his brand. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry has you telling he's the greatest shooter of all time. He doesn't walk around like I'm the greatest shooter of all time. He's like, hey, bro, check the resume. Like, all I need to do. Michael Jordan is like, I'm the greatest of all time anymore. They're debating on that with him. Like he doesn't say that. He'll just smash you out on the court. And then the guy who's never played basketball, who really sucks, and he's like the park yard legend. He's a park legend. He gets him, I'm the greatest of all time. I can beat Michael Jordan. But LeVar Ball, he was already talking about that. I can beat Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was like, oh, okay. I was just saying that. Like, check my resume, bro.
Right.
So I guess I think it's like you were talking about the mindset, and I think it really depends on what you think, what you present wealth to be.
Can I ask this follow-up question? I know we're running short of time.
No, really.
What would you say your mindset is? Is it a wealthy mindset? Is it a poor mindset?
Yes, me.
And I'm gonna come around and answer it myself too.
I would say what I think mine is. I'm working on that. No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious because I think I had a very, very poor mindset or poverty mindset when it came to that costs too much, and then don't ever spend anything, just save, or I'm gonna buy this, and he's not really giving it thought. I think I'm trying to build a better wealthy mindset. I never really cared about the newest. That doesn't really bother me. But that doesn't mean you will spend money on things you probably shouldn't spend. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see, I'm a big boy. So eating food, I'm like, hey, that pizza costs $10, but that Chicago Fire over there costs $30. Give me that Chicago Fire. Like, I know I could get the little Caesars for like $5,
Right.
and I'll take sponsorships if you guys are handing it out too. The Caesars probably like $5, but I'm gonna get that Chicago Fire, and I probably didn't. I probably didn't have to get that, or I could have got a small, but I'm like, no, give me a large because I'm gonna take some home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm doing better with that, but it's that balancing act. I think the biggest thing is for me is I want to be able to do something that I want to do, and still also be able to save, and still also be able to take care of my responsibilities, and I would love to have a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but I don't have to have it.
Right.
That doesn't mean I won't work to try to get it, but it's not going to make or break me to get it. And even if I can technically buy it, if I can't afford to keep it, then I'm not going to buy it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, that was it's kind of where I'm in between. I think I'm transforming because I know in my younger years, of course, growing up, I was like, man, I always want the J's. So I'm like, I need all the Jordans. So if y'all can't see now, I got the 3s on. I got the Jordan 3 black cements on. And so
I know the name of them. I just I was Jordan.
That's what I said. I was a sneakerhead. I was like, man, everybody got all these cool fly gear and all these. They got all the Jordans. So I'm like, man, I want some Jordans. Early years, I was buying every time I got paid. I was like, what is the latest Jordan coming out? I'm about to buy it. So I'm out here looking at the Yeezy's coming out on Saturday, or the 7's coming out this day. Oh yeah, I got money for that. I'm gonna buy it. And not thinking like, hey, you gotta survive for the rest of the month, or you got the car insurance, and you got bills, and you got phone bills, you got rent, you got food. I'm just like, but Jordans though. so in my younger years, I was struggling a lot, and also kind of get into using credit cards, which is a whole other subject to get into, where you're using them, you're not really thinking it because you're not looking and seeing the actual money leave your hand. So you're just swiping it on everything. Well, it's still swiping, so I'm good. Right. And it's like, as long as I pay the minimum balance, I'm straight. But then the next thing you know, you're like, man, I got this thing almost maxed out. Or it's like, oh man, I gotta pay this back. And so I've been plenty of times where I've gotten in debt, out of debt, in debt, out of debt, back in debt, and then now I'm working on getting back out of debt. But that's why I said my mind is transforming from that poor mindset that was like, I gotta have it now because I gotta be able to keep up with the Joneses, like everybody says. Where now I'm like, okay, what can I do to position myself in a better financial situation for the future? Right. What can I spend my money on that's going to make me more money? Right. Because if I want to be able to go on trips, or I want to be able to buy the Jordans or the Yeezys or whatever the case is, it's smarter to be like, I can always get those shoes or clothes or whatever I want later in life if I have the money. But you gotta get the money first. So my mind now, I'm just thinking and trying to invest more now, invest more for the future, invest more for my future family, so that my kids and their kids, or whatever the case is, I can have something to pass down to them, so they can be like, oh, okay, well, Dad did well, and he left us with something, so that we can achieve our dreams.
We can keep going.
We want to do. Yeah.
Right.
So I kind of piggyback on what you said. I think we're all saying the same thing. Coming up not rich, not at all.
Right.
Even some people that have money, and their parents were still just like, nope, I'm not buying it. I just can't do it. That's why I have money.
Right.
But coming up in different backgrounds, coming from different backgrounds, different upbringings. I would like to say, yeah, I'm super frugal. I'm putting money away for the future and saving, and I would like to say that I do that. I'm working on it. The standard is being able to take care of your children's children. That's the standard. And even when you're receiving your check that you get every 2 weeks or every month or whatever, what have you, or your commissions or whatever it is that you get, if you're thinking with that mindset, what can I be putting away for the next generation? Even if it may not be my specific line, I'm putting away money for myself and for the next generation. I think that's a good thing, and that's always going to be the standard. But we're all trying to work to get there.
All right, we can close this out, man. So,
I just said it. I said it all. And in the Bible, it says in Proverbs somewhere, I don't know exactly what it says. It says a righteous man will actually look to build wealth for their children's children. So again, that's always going to be the standard. You want to be looking out for your family. You don't want to just be buying, amassing all of these things, even amassing wealth, and then you're not even focused on giving it to your children's children, and either trying to give it away to help out your community, your nation, those that that need help, or the poor. I mean, God will bless us for a certain reason, and that reason is to bless others. So whether it's our children's children, it's the poor, we need to be thinking in that mindset before we start thinking about ourselves.
all right. Well, since he didn't do the normal closeout, I'll do it. So the question is, did your mind get changed? Did your mind get swayed? So I'm gonna say, yeah, my mind gets swayed. I'm gonna go blow all the money. No. No. My mind didn't get swayed. My opinion didn't really change. My opinion didn't change too much. I think that overall, like Horsey just said right here, is that you gotta make sure that that you have that you're not trying to go to Jones. You gotta make sure you know what you want to do with your finances, and that you have a good handle on that. Don't go into debt. Debt is terrible. I can't wait to get out of it. So no, my opinion didn't get changed.
For me, it's about the same. I haven't really changed much anything. I think the only thing that I can say is, debt can be powerful or it can be destructive. And it's just based on how you understand it and how you use it. If you use it for buying things that you don't really need, the Gucci belts, the Jordans, the Yeezys, that will be destructive. And it will come back to bite you in your butt for years to come. Now,
Still biting me.
if you're buying it for assets that's going to generate you money, good debt, then that's a whole different topic. That's that wealthy mindset. You're starting to build on your wealth, building your generational wealth to pass down. So instead of having the generational poverty that unfortunately has been passed down amongst the African American community for generations. So hopefully you guys learned something and gathered something from this topic that we talked about. Leave us some comments below, like the video up so we can get that YouTube algorithm going so other people can get this information and y'all can understand it. And if you really vibe with us, subscribe. We got more stuff on the way.
I'm interested to hear from those that are like on the opposite side of the spectrum, who are like, hey, can't take it with you.
YOLOs.
So in the comment, the YOLOs.
YOLOs.
not the county.
The YOLO. So I'm interested to hear how you guys feel about it. You know, do you feel like, hey, can't take it with you? I'm gonna spend it all.
All right, so peace.
Another one.